Gadadara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Sri Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Jaya Gaurangi, Jaya Bengalurishwara, Gaurangi, Jaya Bengalurishwara, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Balladeva, Subhadramai, Jaya Sudarshana, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Vananta Dev, Prahlad Narasimha, Jaya Vananta Dev, Jaya Vamana Dev, Jaya Vamana Dev, Vamana Dev, Jaya Vamana Dev, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan. Jaya Vinde Devi, Jaya Tulsi Maharani, Bhakti Devi, Jaya Tulsi Maharani. Jaya Nittai Chaitanya, Jaya Nittai Chaitanya, Nittai Chaitanya, Jaya Gaura Hari. Jaya Panchatattva, Jaya Panchatattva, Panchatattva, Jaya Panchatattva. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nittai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nittai Gaur Hari Bol. Harinam Sankirtan ki. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudiraye Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. So, today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 8, Text 28. So, the chapter is entitled as Dhruva Maharaj leaves home for the forest. Vikalpe Vidyamane Pi Vikalpe Vidyamane Pi Nahya Asantosha Hetava Nahya Asantosha Hetava Pumso Moham Rute Bhinna Pumso Moham Rute Bhinna Yalloke Nija Karma Bihi Yalloke Nija Karma Bihi Vikalpe Vidyamane Pi Nahya Santosha Hetava Pumsho Moham Rute Bhinna Yalloke Nija Karma Bihi Vikalpe Vidyamane Pi Nahya Santosha Hetava Pumso Moham Rute Bhinna Yalloke Nija Karma Bihi Vikalpe Vidyamane Pi Nahya Santosha Hetava पुंसो मोहमृते भिन्ना यलोके निजकर्मभिः विकल्पे विद्यमानेऽपि न ह्यसन्तोषहेतवः पुंसो मोहमृते भिन्ना यल्लोके निजकर्मभिः विकल्पे विद्यमानेऽपि न ह्यसन्तोषहेतवः पुंसो मोहमृते भिन्ना यल्लोके निजकर्मभिः विकल्पे विद्यमानेऽपि न ह्यसन्तोषहेतवः पुंसो मोहमृते भिन्ना यल्लोके निजकर्मभिः. Okay. So word to word meaning. Vikalpe, alteration. Vidyamanepi, although there is. Na, not. He, certainly. Asantosha, dissatisfaction. Hetava, causes. Pumsa, of the persons. Moharate, without being illusioned. Bhinna, separated. Yadloke, within this world. Nija karma bihi, by his own work. Translation with repetition. My dear Dhruva, if you feel that your sense of honor has been insulted, you still have no cause for dissatisfaction. This kind of dissatisfaction is another feature of the illusory energy. Every living entity is controlled by his previous actions. And therefore, there are different varieties of life for enjoying or suffering. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. In the Vedas, it is said that the living entity is always uncontaminated and unaffected by material association. The living entity gets different types of material bodies because of his previous fruitive actions. If, however, one understands the philosophy that as a living spirit soul, he has an affinity for neither suffering nor enjoyment, then he is considered to be a liberated person. It is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 18.54, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma. When one is actually situated on the transcendental platform, he has nothing for which to lament and nothing for which to hanker. Narada Rishi first of all wanted to impress upon Dhruva Maharaj that he was only a child. He should not have been affected by the words of insult or honor. And if he were to so develop as to understand honor and insult, then this understanding should have been applied in his own life. He should have known that honor and dishonor are both destined only by one's previous actions. Therefore, one should not be sorry or happy under any circumstances. Om Ajnanatimrandasya Jnananjalashalakaya Chakshurunmiritam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutare Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesham Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Shri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Stapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Katamahyam Dadati Swapatantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं दत्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम् वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So, welcome everyone. Today morning, Sunday morning, Srimad Bhagavatam class. So, this verse, so Narada is addressing Dhruva Maharaj. So, as we heard in the previous slokas, that Dhruva, just a 5-year-old kid, he wanted to sit on his father's lap, just as any normal child. It doesn't matter whether he is born in an aristocratic Kshatriya family or he is any other general family. Normally, young children want to sit on their father's lap. And in the same way, Dhruva wanted to sit on his father's lap. But unfortunately, his stepmother was totally in a different mood. Without even thinking that it is a small child, she mercilessly pushed the child down and said so much hard words that pierced the heart of young Dhruva. So we need to understand, this is the nature of the material world in general. Whatever we actually think we want or we would get, it is not obtained. So this shows the nature of the material world, that everyone has to do some kind of work, hard work or struggle to attain something. And in this case, even to get the basic love from his father, he needs to endeavor, or he needs to suffer so much. So it pierced the heart of Dhruva that so much that he was like totally shattered. And of course, we knew that Suruchi, his stepmother, she advises that you go and approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And she just in a common joking way, she says this. And even his own mother, Suniti, also consoles him, saying that, please, you, for people like us who don't have any other option or any other shelter, because the husband is the shelter of the woman or any married woman. And when he himself has neglected her and he has neglected his own son, now who can take care of them? Only the Supreme Lord. No king, no demigods, no leader of the state, president, prime minister. Doesn't matter. Even if they take care, how long will they take care? Right? But if somebody wants to achieve something, then it is better to approach the Supreme Lord. That is what here both, Suruchi meant it in a way that it is just like, okay, I'm just instructing one child. But Suniti had that in her mind. Okay, now it is up to the Supreme Lord to be taken shelter of. So she says that, okay, now it is time to take shelter of Supreme Lord. But Suniti never expected that Dhruva would take it to heart and start out searching for the Supreme Lord in the forest. So Dhruva, completely in his heart, he was totally convinced that, okay, now I need to go and approach the Supreme Lord, no matter what. And for any person who is in this state, right, like who wants to achieve something or who wants to realize the Supreme Lord, what he should do? Or how will he be directed? So the answer lies that the Lord is stated in the heart of every living entity as Chaitya Guru, right? And he is directing the soul. And it is also mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita that if a soul wants to deviate away from Krishna, then the Lord as the super soul helps him in that way also. If somebody wants to forget Krishna, Krishna will help such a soul to forget himself, forget the Lord. And he will help him to achieve whatever material happiness or achievements he wants to achieve or he wants to enjoy. So the Lord is so merciful on his children that we fallen souls including. So the Supreme Lord, as soon as he understood that Dhruva is now trying to approach me, then what he did, he sent his pure devotee, Srila Narad Muni. And Narad Muni initially said that, Dhruva, my dear Dhruva, you are just a small boy. It is time for you to spend time in playing, not to search out for the Supreme Lord. So you don't try for this. And Dhruva, and he's, of course, now he is saying that this whatever honor and dishonor, so he was so much insulted by his stepmother. So he is saying that there is no need for this dissatisfaction. So, and even in the further shlokas also, he will be giving various other tarkas that it is not required for you to go and perform this austerity or try to please the Supreme Lord. When time comes, when you are grown up enough, you can go and approach the Supreme Lord. So, Srila Prabhupada mentions in the purports that Srila Narada Muni is here testing Dhruva Maharaj by, in a way, discouraging him. That, or in a way to say that, okay, whatever you have in your mind is not very important as of now. It's time for you to play or look into some other activities rather than trying to achieve the very, very high state of getting the darshan of the Supreme Lord. So, there are two reasons here. So, one is to, so the spiritual master usually does these kind of activity or these kind of things, or the Supreme Lord or the spiritual master, they say these kind of words for two reasons. One is that to test the patience or the perseverance of the devotee, to see that how much the devotee is determined to achieve the spiritual goal. And the second reason is to show the entire world how glorious his devotees are. Right? So, we can see many examples in Srimad Bhagavatam itself, in the life of Sri Prahlad Maharaj. We know that he was also a small boy. What was his mistake that he was so much tortured by his father himself? His only mistake was he was having the devotional attitude towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And his father, being a demon, is always envious of devotees or the Supreme Lord, and Vishnu in fact. So, he gave so much of punishment, so much of torture for the small boy. It cannot be comprehended by a normal person that anybody can do this. But Hiranyakashipu, the demon he was not even thinking twice to do these kind of atrocious activities towards his own son, who is just 5 years old. Assume a small boy walks to you and he says Hare Krishna, and you slap him or burn his hand or do what not. And Srila Prabhupada says, the tortures that was done on Prahlad Maharaj could not be mentioned in the pages of Bhagavatam. So assume what was the intensity of the torture that was done by Hiranyakashipu to Prahlad Maharaj. And it doesn't mean that Prahlad Maharaj was totally unaffected. He was going through so much pain, because human body means pain. Human body means pain. If someone pushes us, someone tries to burn us, it will surely burn. But even though there were pain, Prahlad Maharaj tolerated it. And of course, in greatest dangers, we know that Krishna himself protected Prahlad Maharaj. But one is, he was waiting. He didn't give the darshan immediately to Prahlad Maharaj. So he was waiting how much faith Prahlad Maharaj had. And Prahlad Maharaj had so much faith on the words of Narad Muni when he heard the glories of the Supreme Lord within the womb of his mother. And the second thing was, now we see that Prahlad Maharaj is so glorious that he is the only devotee of the Lord who is in the altar itself. So we always have the deity of Prahlad Maharaj with Narsimdev. So glorious he became. Alright? And another example is the Pandavas, Arjuna, Yudhishthira. I mean, just for the sake of kingdom, what all troubles they had to go through from their own brothers. What to speak of someone else? Own brothers and his own stepfather. So, when a father is not there, it is the natural duty of the stepfather to take care of their stepchildren. But here, Dhritarashtra, the blind person, he was both materially, spiritually, mentally, whatever you say, he was totally neglectful of his duty as a stepfather and even as a king. And in this way, he tried to, in a way, cheat the Pandavas by siding his with son. Again, this shows the blunt reality of this material world. You cannot expect any tinge of mercy from anyone in this material world, including the stepfather. And now in Kali Yuga, even own parents, a father and mother, are now killing the child in the womb. So that standard is going down day by day, year by year, time by time, by every yuga. And as Kali Yuga progresses, this will be even more worst. Right? But nevertheless, they had strong faith in Krishna. They had strong faith in Madhusudana. So they were able to get past through all the difficulties, even from death. Right? So that way, they all were protected by the Supreme Lord. And by this, they attained glory. And now we see that even our dear Srila Prabhupada, who wanted to establish Krishna consciousness all around the world, when he, in the initial days when he was in America, we see that in the Srila Prabhupada Leelamrita, that how much hardships he has to go through initially. And it was all a testing phase. And Srila Prabhupada multiple times remarks that he would go and stand in the harbor, right? And he would like thinking that I should go back. Oh Krishna, what kind of place I have been put? Let me go back. I just want to go back. He would just stand in the harbor of Manhattan and think that, okay, let me go back. But at that point, somehow he made his mind that no, this is my Guru Maharaj's instruction and I have to follow this somehow or the other till I die. This shows the faith part of the devotee, either in the Supreme Lord or in his spiritual master. And dear devotees, this is what is going to help us in our spiritual life going forward ever. The faith, not just faith, the strongest faith that we have on the words of our spiritual master and Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And when we have the protection of these two personalities in our life, then it is sure that even nobody else is there with us, we are protected. So we see that I was reading Srila Bhishma Deva was passing away. So there, when Bhishma Deva was about to leave his body, all the great personalities, great rishis, Asita, Devala, Parshurama himself, Sudarshana Chakra himself, all, and even Vedavyasa, along with their disciples, Shukadev Goswami, Parashara Muni, Artri Muni, they were all present to witness the glorious passing away of Srila Bhishma Deva. What to speak of the demigods? For a devotee, when Krishna and his spiritual master are there, he has all protection of all the demigods, all the sevakas of Krishna. Like Garudadev is there, Sudarshan Chakra is there, Anantadev is there. All demigods are there. What is the worry that we have? The only, for a material, in the material world, for a person who has taken the body in the material world, what is the most one thing that is most afraid of? Death. Right? But for a devotee, it is nothing, because he is being protected by all these personalities. We see in the story of Ambrish Maharaj, did Lord Vishnu release the Sudarshan Chakra? The Sudarshan Chakra by itself he went and protected Ambrish Maharaj. And the most glorious part is Ambrish Maharaj didn't even ask for that protection, either to the Supreme Lord or the Parshad of Lord Vishnu, that is the Sudarshan. He never asked. So that is the glory, or that is the divine nature of the pure devotee. He doesn't even expect someone to protect his material body, because he knows that he is the spirit soul. So that's why here Narada Muni is saying that you don't have to have this kind of dissatisfaction, because this is a feature of illusory energy, and that illusory energy is controlled, or the illusory energy has control only in the material world. It has nothing to do in the spiritual world. And we being the spiritual spark, or the spirit spark, we have nothing to do in this material world. We have just come here due to our tendency of enjoyment. And when we are trying to enjoy something in this material world, it is no matter how much enjoyment we do, we are not satisfied. And the example Srila Prabhupada gives is that If we take a fish out of the water and put it on the golden bed, if we take the fish out of the water and put it on the golden bed also, the fish cannot be happy. And in the same way, no matter with what amount of material facilities we are going to make for ourselves, we cannot be happy in this material world. That is the truth. And that's why Narada Muni, even Sri Krishna, at every point he says in Bhagavad Gita that this material world is not for you. Rise above the senses. Rise above the three modes of material nature. In Bhagavad Gita, 6th chapter, he says that Jitatma Prashantasya Paramatma Samayinata Shitoshna Sukadekeshu Tata Manapamanayoho. And when he says Matra Sparshastu Kaunteya Shitoshna Sukadukkada Agama Pahino Nitya Stamtiti Shasa Bharata. Multiple places. In every chapter, either it is Karma Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, doesn't matter. This is the same thing. That this happiness and distress, honor and dishonor, right? It's just like passing seasons. So, it is up to us to conquer the mind, because everything is in the mind. And one who has attained that kind of tranquility, for him, happiness and distress, heat and cold, honor and dishonor are all the same. And the main problem is, in this material world, we are very much after the honor part. Not even money. Not even money. The honor thing that is there, right? That is the main thing that is pulling us down. You take in any field, including within the spiritual community. Including the spiritual community, this honor thing is the weapon of Maya that is going to affect us. Everywhere we are trying to see who is respecting me. Who is looking me with some expectation that they are going to get from me? Who is going to thank me? It's a very, very powerful weapon of Maya. And it is very, very difficult to come out of this. By our own endeavor, it is not possible. So, Srila Prabhupada says, humility means, in the 13th chapter, in one of the purports he said, humility means not be anxious to have satisfaction of being honored by others. I'll repeat this. Humility means one should not be anxious to have the satisfaction of being honored by others. So when somebody is honoring us, we automatically be happy. And that is going to put us into the cycle. So there is one story, I think most of you would have heard. Again, I would just repeat it. There was one saint. He was doing his sadhana in his village. Right? He was doing his good sadhana in his village. And once, because he is a sage, there are so many devotees, they are coming to his ashram, and they are trying to take his association, take his blessings and everything. So what happened? He was so frustrated by this coming and going of people. What he did, he said that, okay, this is affecting my sadhana. What? I should be going to the hills, in the forest, and I should be doing my meditation there. So what he did, he packs everything, goes to a very, very far away place, and he makes his residence in one of the caves of the hills. And he does his sadhana very nicely. And as days passed, what happened? One person, while he was collecting some woods, he saw this sage, and he said that, "Oh, my dear sage, you are here. Let me, please bless me. I thought where you went. So please bless me." So the sage said, "No, I don't want to be disturbed like this. Please, I want to concentrate on my sadhana." Then what happened? He said, "Okay, sage, no problem. But you cannot be away without blessing us. So what we will do, once in a year we will come to meet you and take blessings from you." So the sage said, "Okay, once in a year, no, okay, you come." And what happened? Every year, one day, the entire village used to go to him and take his blessings. So entire village means, then assume like there will be like 10,000 or even a lakh of devotees. So this happened for so many years. And one day, on the day where these people had to come, nobody came. So what happened? Naturally, this person is so anxious. Why nobody came today? Previously, when he was in the cottage, one or two people would come every day and they would disturb. So he was not attached to that honor. But when thousands of devotees are coming, he is being treated like a god. And naturally, he had this, or he developed this kind of attachment for name and fame or honor. So he is not able to concentrate on his sadhana, and he is like waiting and waiting and waiting. Nobody came. And as the sun is going down, he is not able to see also, and he is climbing up the hill, he is climbing on the tree, and he is trying to see. And he went up the top branch, and naturally the top branch will be like more tender. He fell down and he left his body. So the story comes just to say, this is the trick of Maya. And in Vaishnava Ke, right? The book of His Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Srila Prabhupada, which is compiled by His Holiness Pataka Swami Maharaj, he says that this is the trick of Maya. She knows where to attack which devotee. So she uses that kind of weapon for the devotee. And for one who is attached to this kind of honor and dishonor, she will unleash this weapon. So that's why Srila Prabhupada says, one should not be anxious for this so-called honor. And the problem with this material world is, this material world itself makes the entity to be anxious for this kind of honor. It is not by nature that we are getting this. As spirit soul, we don't need this kind of honor and dishonor. But the contact with the material energy is driving this kind of thing. So that's the reason we should raise about that platform. And we should understand that we are not this body. Anything pertaining to this body is useless. That including honor and dishonor. Right? So, as I said, as Jiva, there is nothing that we need from this material world. Nothing that we need from this material world. We are just here to elevate ourselves. We have nothing to do with this material world. So, the three modes of nature which is present in the material world, as soon as the living entity, he touches this body of 5 elements, he becomes entangled in these three modes of material nature. And the senses are playing a role with this, along with the mind. See how many enemies we have. Maya, the external energy is there. The three modes of material nature is there. The senses are there. The mind is there. You see, all these elements are against us. They are the stumbling blocks for us to achieve our destination. That is the lotus feet of Lord Govinda. So, because of these kind of attachment, what is happening? We are transmigrating from one body to another body. That is what is happening. Srila Prabhupada multiple times he says this verse, even on the deathbed. Karanam gunasangasya satasadhyunitanasu. It is because of this sangha with the material energy that is causing this. And even in the second chapter also it says that Vasamsa jinani yatavihaya navani ghrunati naroparani. Just as we chain the clothes which is old, the living entity is changing the body made of 5 elements. As soon as it is old, it has been changed. And is it changing in the only one of the species? It is changing the bodies in entire 84 lakh species, right? There is something to think about, something to ponder about, that to take birth in each species itself, it's going to be a long time. 84 lakh species. And in each species, so many years. And sometimes in each species there can be multiple birth. In the same species there can be multiple birth. If it is discontinued, for example, people are killing these animals. So that life is discontinued. And that is the reason Srila Prabhupada says, this human life is very, very rare. And there is no guarantee when we will get it. Some might say that, Prabhuji, after 84 lakh species, I might get. But no guarantee. It's a very, very, somebody gives you a post-dated check of some 1,000 years, it is as good as not giving anything. So, Srila Prabhupada says, don't wait for it. So, due to this influence of material nature, the entity is either born as a demigod, either born as a beast, either born as a bird, aquatic. This thing is going on. So Srila Prabhupada says, a devotee who wants to enter into the association of the Supreme Lord, he has to transcend all these things. He should not have any kind of attachment. And this is what is going to save him. And Srila Prabhupada makes one very interesting statement here, that in every species or in every life this living entity is taking birth. Either it is aquatics, either it is bird, beast, or either demigod, whatever, he is thinking he is the master. It's not only in the human society. It is even in the animal society, aquatic society, bird, whatever species, in the entire 84 lakh species, everywhere he is thinking, I am the master. I am the master, I am the controller. And he is being made to think in this way, and that is the work of the external energy, or the Maya Shakti of the Supreme Lord. That's why Lord says that, Devi Hesha Gunamami Mama Maya Duratyaya. You cannot take this Maya so cheaply. We are thinking that Maya, we can cross her so cheaply. And Srila Prabhupada says, and even Sri Krishna says that this is the most difficult part. Because the Maya doesn't have one weapon for one person. It's not, there is no one generic weapon. It's having nicely crafted, unique weapons for each and every living entity to make sure he is in this material world. That is the best part of Maya. She is the best architect to make sure this person lives inside this temporary home. She makes it in such a good way. People these days, they build nice homes with nice interiors and everything. All they want to be happy in that home. Happy family, happy house. Home, sweet home. What sweet? Prana prahaya sami kapapada fittaihi. Something to think about very, very seriously. So, that's why Sri Krishna says, Daivi esha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mamevaye prapadyante maya me tam tarantite. Very nice to hear. Krishna is saying, you take shelter of me, I will take care of you. Very nice to hear these words from Krishna. And very, very assuring also. But for whom this is done? Mamevaye prapadyante maya me tam tarantite. For whom does it apply? Persons who are doing 24/7 Krishna consciousness. That's what Srila Prabhupada says. Actually, I was hearing one lecture where Srila Prabhupada says, Krishna consciousness is not something that you chant for like some time, you read for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 1 hour. Krishna consciousness is 24/7. Sometimes I hear from devotees, not from this congregation, they say that, Prabhu, Saturday and Sunday I do little less Krishna consciousness because I need to take some rest. And some people say that, Prabhu, Saturday and Sunday I do nice Krishna consciousness. Of course, whatever here I am saying, it is inclusive of me also. I am on the same level, but it's just I am repeating what Srila Prabhupada and my Gurudev says. So it includes me also. So we say that Saturday and Sunday we do more service, but other days I am little busy. Holiday, rest day. But Shastra or Bhagavad Gita says, Maya doesn't have this kind of holiday. She is working 24/7, 365 days. And from the beginning of the material world. As soon as the material world is created by the Supreme Lord, Maya starts her activity. And she has been working 24/7 without any gap. Making sure we are there in this material world. Making sure the living entities are within the material world. That is her service. And she doesn't ask Krishna for a time off. So Srila Prabhupada says, never be neglectful of Maya. And this assurance of Krishna, it applies for Ananyas Chintayantomam Ejanam Pariyapasate. So Krishna, at every chapter of Bhagavad Gita, he is ramping up the bar. So that's why as sadhaka bhaktas, we should be always connected with the Supreme Lord. Somehow or the other way. Somehow or the other way. Otherwise, Maya will take us away. That's why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was giving the final instructions in the Shishtastakam, he says that na janam, na dhanam, na sundarim va. The janam part is there, right? That is the most difficult part. So we see that some people, they go for big universities, then they go for big jobs, and they acquire so much money. And there are some people who enter into film industry, some people enter into political industry with the goal of making money. But once they make that money, the next goal will be fame. Money is just a paper. Once you achieve so much in your bank account, money is just a paper. You have everything. Now the time is to get the honor. So that's why here Narada Muni says, don't be attached to this honor and dishonor. That is going to destroy you completely. Of course, we see that Dhruva Maharaj, in the next verses, he says that, my Lord, I have been pierced and I have been distressed so much that whatever you are giving, it's not going into my head. I still want to achieve it. My material, of course, that will be taken in the next. But the point is that we have to take shelter of Guru and Krishna. So there's one pastime of Srila Prabhupada, a small pastime that I would say, and I'll conclude. So once Srila Prabhupada, he was walking in around a lake or so, somewhere in the west, and it was very, very cold there. It was in a winter season, and all the lakes have been frozen. So what he did, he took his stick and he tries to break the glass. The water is beneath the glass, and he tries to break the glass, and as soon he breaks it, the water is available. So Prabhupada said, this is what I am doing with you people. I am breaking the hard curtain or the hard glass of Maya so that you can see Krishna. And this is the duty of spiritual master. And this is the duty of spiritual master. And what is our duty? Our duty is to surrender to that spiritual master. What is the percentage of surrender? 50%? 60%? 90%? 99%? Yeah, 100% surrender. And that is what is going to help us. As long as we are not 100% surrendered to the spiritual master, there is no guarantee of achieving that abode, having gone where one doesn't come back. So let's all pray to our spiritual master. So here Narada Muni, he came as the spiritual master as Dhruva Maharaj, and he's imparting these divine instructions. And he is also giving the mantra so that he can achieve so that Dhruva Maharaj can achieve his desired goal. Even though his goal is material, still it is better to approach the Supreme Lord. Akama sarva kamamba moksha kamam vidarati. Even if it is material, it's okay. But the thing is, even though we approach the Supreme Lord with the material desire, the beauty of the Supreme Lord is that he would make sure that that kind of desire goes away. So when the Lord gives darshan to the Supreme Lord, when the Supreme Lord Vishnu, he gave this darshan to Dhruva Maharaj was completely nil of his material anchorings, right? So that is the reason this word says, Akama sarva kamava moksha kama udaradi tivrena bhakti yogana. That is the main reason. Because this worship of demigods, it's not going to make us detached from that, whatever we are asking for the material happiness or the hankering. So this is the difference between the Supreme Lord and the benedictions given from others. Anybody other than the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord, he gives you the benediction even if it is material. But he will make sure that we will become detached from that at one point of time. And we develop pure devotion to him. So let's pray to our spiritual master and all the devotees who are there. They are like the wish-fulfilling desire trees. So that we also can have such kind of faith in the words of Guru, in the words of Krishna, in the words of Shastras. And we try to get out of this place. Okay? Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Upasthita Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna. I hope there are no questions, so we can have questions. That's the thing, right? For all expert, stalwart devotees. No questions, right? You have a question? Yes, Prabhu. The right answer. can take
My
this.
question is that, if they are devotee, okay, they will be affected by, like any accident or something. Like we heard from like Jayapatak Maharaj, like someone, did something for him, so he is not, right? So the Lord is not protecting him, like here's such example.
Okay, Prabhuji is asking, when somebody has an accident, then the Lord is not protecting. Okay, is that the question or something else? Yeah, that's all. So here there are multiple, many devotees have given the clarification. So when Sri Krishna is saying protecting, I asked this question once. Once I was there in one satsang, and I was talking about death actually. And I asked the audience, death is the most fearful stuff. And nobody is very much, they don't want to die. Nobody is expecting that, okay, I will die or I am ready to die. So, one Mataji, she is not a devotee, she's just generally she comes for satsang, and she said, Prabhuji, I am not afraid of death. I am ready to die. And I asked, okay, Mataji, are you ready to die right now? She said, yes, Prabhu, I am ready to die right now. Okay, although it is superficial, okay, let's consider that she wants to die and she is ready to die. The thing is, death is not a problem here. Living this material body is not a problem, because death will come today or tomorrow. Either for a devotee, non-devotee, even for Brahma there is death. So dying is not at all a problem. The problem is where we go after death. Understood? The problem is where we are going after death. So for example, to give an analogy, usually now we are all, most of us are students, some are all working, some are all in a retired state. Okay? So in the initial stage, somebody is spending left and right. So what somebody advises him? Don't spend so much. You have to save for later. And when is that later? When there is no income. For example, retirement, right? Why we are saving for retirement? Safety, right? If you don't save anything for retirement, then at that time there is a danger, right? As you go, you don't know when you will lose the job. You don't know when some health issues will come and you will not be able to go out and earn. So people say that, right? If just for one material stuff, this is what is the plan, to save for the future, why we should not save for our next life? So I told them, death is not at all a problem. For a person who has taken his birth, he should to die. But where we are going, that is what is mattering. If a person, like we see so many big shots, they are having millions of dollars in their bank account, and they die, in what life they are going to take next? Animal life. What to speak of thousands of dollars in the bank and you are taking your birth as animal? Isn't it that a problem? And Krishna here says, and even the acharyas, they give the clarification, death is not a problem. Taking birth also is not a problem. Sometimes, if you are, okay, you did so many good, you are leading a pious life and you got a birth as a demigod. And you enjoyed as a either Indra or Chandra, whatever, with all the material happiness. Then what happens? Kshine punye martyalokam vishanti. Again danger. So that also is not a solution now. Right? Reincarnation also is not a solution. Because once you go there, you have to come back. And even if you go to spiritual world also, even if you Krishna Loka also, that is not the solution. Because even in spiritual world also, This is not the solution. You will not come back, that's okay. But there is a chance of coming back. Why? Consciousness. Consciousness is everything. That's why Srila Prabhupada said, this is International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Because when you have Krishna consciousness, no matter where you are, either you are in spiritual world, material world, Patala, Atala, Sutala, wherever you are, nobody can do anything to you. That's why I said, right, you are being protected by the Supreme Lord. So when Krishna says, Ejanam Pariyupasate, Tesham Nityabhiyuktanam, Yogakshemam. That Yogakshemam is protecting our consciousness, right, Prabhu? Yogakshemam is protecting the consciousness. So, we have to work on protecting our consciousness. And without that consciousness being pure, even if you go to Krishna, there is a chance of coming back. Because Krishna is not going to meddle with your independence. If you say, Krishna, I want to go back again, he will send you. That's the thing. So, Prabhu, death is not at all a problem. And whoever this devotee is suffering, we have seen even bad Prabhu. You see, that's why I gave that example of Prahlad Maharaj. There is no one in the history who has suffered like Prahlad Maharaj. He is piercing the child. Don't think it is not hurting him. This is because the material body will hurt. But when his life was about to go, Krishna was saving him. And Srila Prabhupada never mentioned this in the books. What kind of atrocities he went. Right? But one thing was sure, he suffered. One great devotees, many devotees. Even Srila Prabhupada, I was going through a lecture from Harishauri Prabhu. He was saying there was not even one day where Prabhupada was very, very fit. His body was very, very fit. Every day he had some or the other problem in the body. But the pure devotee's quality is that it doesn't care for it. We know that when there was the Rath Yatra that being hosted, literally he was unwell. But he went to the center of the place and he was jumping. That is the mood of the devotee. He is not at all in this platform, material platform. Right? So, this material body, Krishna will take care, Prabhu. I mean, if there is something problem, need not worry. Of course, there are so many other things in this matter that whenever somebody is sick, their this thing will go down and everything. But that's why Srila Prabhupada says, when you are fit, do it. As long, we don't know when this happens, this will happen to us, right? And something happens and we cannot do more devotional service like how we were doing. That's why every moment of our life we should be doing devotional service in Krishna consciousness. We don't know what will happen. But what Ishopanishad says, my Lord, please remember all that I did for you. And at this point, when my death is there, you protect me. You protect my consciousness. Because I cannot remember you. This is a prayer of the devotee. Okay? I hope I answered your question. Yeah? You have Prabhu? Yes. No, that Prabhu. You?
So, thank you for helping us understand how Maya and the sensory perceptions becomes a blockage in our bhakti. But I want to, it just suddenly came out of my mind, like why, even though we are devoid of our material desires, then why we have kalpvriksh and other things in the spiritual world, like kalpvriksh, they are for fulfilling our wishes and desires, right? And as we heard, like whenever we get to know our Supreme Lord, or when we have darshan, or when we become as a servant of Supreme Lord, our desires are gone.
Yeah.
Material. So, for what purpose?
Yeah. So Prabhu is asking, when we think in Krishna consciousness, we say that we should not be having any desires. But why these desire fulfilling trees or kalpavrikshas are there in the spiritual world? When there is no desire, what is the need of the desire? Yeah, nice. So, In the spiritual world, everyone are devotees. So these devotees don't have any desire for their sense gratification. They don't ask these desires for their sense gratification. They ask these desires so that they can serve Krishna. For example, they ask these desires, give some fruits, give some flowers so that I can worship Krishna. I can give it to Krishna. I can serve Krishna. And there are like Surabhi cows which can give unlimited milk. And it will be like surprising for people to understand that even in spiritual world, Yashoda Maya is churning the butter. When these kind of desires are there, why Krishna has, Yashoda Maya has to churn the butter for Krishna? She can just ask desire tree you give. But she is doing out of love. That is the reciprocation. So, spiritual world is full of variegatedness. We cannot even comprehend what kind of variegatedness is there. We haven't even had 1% of experience of the spiritual world here. Apart from this taste that we get in chanting, if we are doing right chanting, right? Otherwise, we haven't. So, every devotee just desires to serve Krishna in the spiritual world. That is the answer for it. There is no material desires. No, nothing. It's only for serving Krishna. I hope that clears, right? Yeah. Yes, you had one question, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
As you told that we should surrender 100% to Guru. Okay. So everywhere and every time we are in the clutch of Maya. So how to surrender 100% to
Yeah.
Guru?
So Prabhuji is asking, at every point we are in the clutches of Maya. So how we can? I can go for a class. This one is 1 hour class. This is, but I'll just try to be very, very precise and short. One thing is that when you say that, practically speaking, let me put it in very, very practical terms. Let's follow the instructions of our Guru. One is chanting our rounds. Second is reading Shastras and preaching. And the most important is the association. And all this we need to do just to protect our consciousness. Even you may be working in your IT job or in your business or in your factory. If you are having that conscious that I am doing it for Krishna, it is. And Srila Prabhupada has set that standard. Of course, I'm also not following that standard. But whenever we are earning whatever it is, 50% we need to give Krishna. That is a standard. Then you will not be, that is Krishna consciousness. Even one person asked, Prabhu, I am slogging in my office, morning to night. I'm thinking about my project, I'm not thinking about Krishna. How are you saying it is in Krishna consciousness? So one blunt, open answer is, you have to give your earnings for Krishna 50%. It might be hurtful, even not doing that. And otherwise, you can give whatever, His Holiness Bhakti Parivrajakacara Maharaj, when he had come, so he said that one should donate so much that it pinches us. We should not feel, okay, I donated so much, and of course for brahmacharis and vanaprastha and sannyasis, one has to be Tivrana Bhakti Yogena. Otherwise, it's not possible. Only for grihasthas, this will apply because they are going outside and working. But all the other 3 classes, they are 24/7 in the temple, they are doing one or the other services, they are engaged. Book distributing, they are serving prasadam, they are cooking prasadam, they are taking care of the deities, they are preaching to people. They are always engaged. But grihasthas, they have to go outside and earn. There is no other option. But if you want to make that 10, because why I said this, because 10 hours is going in external work, outside office work, the majority of our time. And if you want to make it Krishna consciousness, this is the way. You have to give this thing to hard-earned money to Krishna. And sometimes people will think, okay, it's not going to, then it's okay. At one point you have to surrender. I was talking to one devotee in Salem community. He was working in Microsoft actually. He has 2 grown-up children. boys. They were at that time when he left everything. So he left everything and joined the community, and he's serving the temple very nicely and construction and everything. At that time, his children, two boys, they were just like 2 years or 3 years. So I asked that Prabhu, how did you quit this job? We're earning in companies like Microsoft and all. How did you? He said that, Prabhu, at one point I knew that I have to surrender to Krishna. He will take care. And I asked that Mataji, what these children will do? Because those children were taking care of the cows, they were taking care of the ashram and everything. They were washing vessels. So that Mataji said, they will sell agarbatis and live. I mean, the amount of surrender and faith, right? This is what differentiates us or people like me from them. This is what is the differentiating factor. The amount of surrender those people are having, and Krishna has kept them in a way that there is no better thing. And people like me can just think of that and wonder only. And still, that conviction doesn't come that, okay, I need to surrender. Esham antagatam papam jananam punyakarmana te danda moha nirmukta bhajante mam dridavruta. It also depends on lot of previous good karma to have that kind of surrender. Or that is one thing. Another thing is the mercy of the pure devotee and Krishna. Causeless mercy. Causeless mercy. No cause. That's why I told, if I go on, I will give this for one class. That's a topic to be discussed. That is the practical application, that how we can apply or dedicate our life in Krishna consciousness. It has to be, or even some devotees like senior devotees or advanced devotees can give lectures on this for weeks. So that's the idea, Prabhu. That's the idea. At one point you have to, even if you're running, you have to surrender and make yourself for Krishna. Because at the end, Ante Narayana Smriti, your mind should be in Narayana. Otherwise, it will become Shrama Eva Hi Kevalam. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Santustha for such a very wonderful class at a short notice by one time loudly chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Devotees are requested to praise for prasadam below. Hare Krishna.